Matt Kemp, I mean, we've been saying it's one of the best stories of 2018, but to see what he was, then what he became, to now what he is.
You know what, Robert, and that's kind of what I want to get into. We'll get into the whole hitting aspect over at the Skybox, but for me, was it injury? Was it lack of motivation? What was it? Because his bad years, let me throw out his bad years. 2015 with the Pods, he hit 265 with 23 and drove in 100.
Not terrible.
I mean, there's a lot of guys who would love to do that in a game, and you're playing unmotivated baseball for the San Diego Padres, who are trying to figure out who they are. Now they know who they are.
Right.
They are rebuilding with the Mejia addition, the Brad Hand trade. They look like they're coming sooner rather than later. Then he gets dealt to Atlanta. That for me was interesting because he put that whole Players Tribune article out there that I'm going to kick it into gear.
Right.
Well, he admitted he had dealt with some injuries, maybe let his body get away from him a little bit. Lack of motivation, again, another team that kind of didn't know where they were going, were in a rebuild, but still, 2016 ends up throwing up a year of 268 with 35 and 108, huh?
What, really?
Really ain't nothing to shake a stick at, so
we've got it wrong.
We might have it wrong
yeah,
because this guy...
It's not Matt Kemp's problem.
I'm going to walk over here. Check this out right now. These are his numbers right now. We're going to skybox his swing because I absolutely love it. And he's been killing it. Since 2011 was kind of his coming out party. I always tell this story when he was going off in L.A. He hit a double, and I walked over to him playing second base for the Chicago Cubs, and I said, "Oh, you've gone to a whole nother level." And he just winked at me. And he's so handsome, I was like, all right, he has gone to a whole nother level, I guess. Because in 2011, he should have been the MVP, right? NL MVP, 324, 39 homers, 126 ribbies, and 986 OPS. He finished second to Ryan Braun that year. So I've been watching him. He's such a mountain of a man in the box. Minimal movement with his hands. Actually almost looks like he takes his hands out of it. And it got me thinking there's different ways to hit a baseball, but I keep going back to my time sitting down with Josh Donaldson talking about hitting and talking about hands. And I want you to take a listen to this.
I feel like my swing and my bat is just running into it, as if the ball is not even there. I'm not a big guy who uses one hand, or I believe this hand, top hand, bottom hand.
You're trying to take your hands out of it almost.
The hands are done.
Josh, that's all I thought about.
I know.
When in doubt, take everything out of it. Don't move your head and just let your hands play. And a lot of guys hit like that.
A lot of guys are hand dominant because that's all they know.
I couldn't believe that. When I first saw it, you tell Gary Sheffield he took his hands out of it. Gary Sheffield was running his hands. How about Javi Baez? This is the way I tried to hit. Cody Bellinger. I wanted to do everything with my hands. Can we pause this right here? Because I want to set it up. I wanted to do everything. When in doubt, like I said, take my body out of it and let my hands play. A lot of these guys are getting in that swing mentality that they're creating their bat speed by throwing their shoulders at the baseball, and the hands are along for the ride. And it got me thinking about Manny Ramirez. He was the first one, right-hand side, that pretty swing. But I want you to focus on the hand movement. It's not going to come down to the belt and go back up. Run this right here. I mean, he's just laying the barrel in the zone right there and going bridge. Rhys Hoskins came on the show. Another guy. We're going to slow-mo the side angle. Pause it. Run that back to Rhys Hoskins because I want to check this out. When he burst on the scene last year, he came on the show, and I talked to him about hands, and he didn't want to hear any of it. He said, D-Ro, I don't worry about my hands. They're going to get there. I just want to make sure I'm on time with my leg kick. Check this out. Almost no movement. They're just behind his head, and they stay there. And then he just drops the bat in the slot. And that's the new way of thinking, creating bat speed, getting the bat on plane. So we'll get through this right here, slow-mo. That's nasty. How about Justin Turner? Pause that. He starts his hands low, but he keeps them there. Everything stays there. I used to be up here. It was a fight down to my belt buckle almost, and then if I didn't get him back up in time, I was late. You see a lot of guys hit like that with a lot of hand play, and they get in trouble. They can get pounded in, they can get soft stuff away, but a lot of these guys now, man, the hands are along for the ride. It's here a la Manny Ramirez. Justin Turner does it a little bit differently. The hands are low, but you don't see them fight to get up. They're just staying on plane. Run this. I mean, that's beautiful. Hopefully he comes back from the groin strain and hits in the middle of the lineup with Manny Machado. Check, pause. So I'm on Twitter on the beach, and someone, I don't know if it's a GIF, it's a GIF, I don't care what you call it. Do we know it, Roflo? You know. Is it a GIF?
It's a GIF, yes.
I think it's a GIF.
If you pronounce it GIF, you're a terrible human being.
Darryl Strawberry doesn't care if it's a GIF or a GIF.
Yeah,
he's going to the moon right here. But it got me thinking about him. Watch him scoop. There's not a lot of hand play here. This is just barrel to the baseball. I'm going to put it on plane. I mean, that was sweet. That was sweet right there. So Matt Kemp yesterday, he hits his 2 home runs. He has been unbelievable. But this is a mountain of a man, like I said, and minimal hand movement right here. He is just keeping that front shoulder square. He is keeping the hip in. He's not cheating to anything. There's not a lefty that can get inside on him. And when you are locked like he is right now, a double in his first at bat in the All-Star game, you see it. Pause it right there. We're going to get in different sections. You won't see his hands fight to get to the baseball. He's more concerned, at least it appears to be more concerned, about just his body being on time. Rhythm and timing, health, motivated, and in great shape leads to a productive Matt Kemp. This is everything I believe in. Picture the rebar again going through the inside of the back knee and almost piping itself into the ground right here. And then you're just gaining 70-30. Run this right here, S-Rod. Check out the hands. They're just along for the ride. And we're just going to lay it in the zone. That front hip is stacked. Front shoulder, not going anywhere. Head on the baseball. Doesn't have to cheat to anything. And when you're facing a lefty that's going to throw you 2-2 fastballs at the Dodgers, letters, he's going deep. So that's the key for me. Again, real quick, I was a guy who really fought with 2 strikes. I'd almost put my foot down, Mikey Young, and just play pepper with the baseball. Josh Donaldson was the first guy where I was like, wait a second. You're not thinking about taking your hands and having barrel accuracy and hand accuracy to the baseball. He's like, D-Row, I'm not concerning myself so much about that. I'm concerning myself with rhythm and timing, keeping my shoulders on plane, and letting my shoulders get the whip appeal. It's a different way of thinking. I don't know if that's Matt Kemp's actual thought process at the plate, but, man, I'm seeing a lot more guys not have that crazy play with their hands, and they've been super successful.
I like that.
And it's working. That's so interesting.